What's going on, guys? I'm the Walrus Jedi, and welcome to another chart video. In today's video, we will be covering the Skywalker Family Tree. So if you like these chart videos, then please consider liking and subscribing and hitting the notification bell for more. Without further ado, let's get to the chart. Alright, so we look at the key here. So blue is for the Skywalkers, purple is for the Naberries, orange is for the Lars, teal is for Organa, brown is for Solo, green is for Voss, and red is for Jade. And then a solid line is the bloodline, and then a dotted line is either adopted or marriage. And then a zigzag would be a passage of time, and we don't know the descendants between the two certain people. First up, Shmi Skywalker. Born 72 years before the Battle of Yavin on Tatooine. Sold into slavery early on in her life, she gave birth to Anakin in 41 BBY. The pair ended up owned by a Toydarian junk dealer named Watto, after being owned by Gardula the Hutt. 6 years passed, and Shmi was sold to Klieg after Anakin won the Boonta Eve Classic and helped Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan and, all them. He was freed. And then 6 years after that, Shmi was sold to Klieg Lars, because Watto was basically too poor to keep her, and he freed her and married her, and she lived with Klieg and his son Owen and Beru, Owen's girlfriend, on a moisture farm. Not long before the Clone Wars began, Shmi was taken by Tusken Raiders and tortured. Anakin arrived just in time for her to die in his arms. And then we have Anakin Skywalker, born 41 BBY. He began life as a slave, but eventually he raced pod racers for Watto, and in 32 BBY he raced and won the Boonta Eve Classic to help Qui-Gon Jinn and Padme repair their ship. With his winnings, Jinn makes a deal with Watto, and Anakin is freed to become a Jedi. He becomes a Jedi Padawan, with Obi-Wan Kenobi serving as his master, and eventually he marries Padme just after Geonosis, and he would achieve renown and fame through the Clone Wars, even being knighted. But due to Palpatine's continual manipulation of a troubled soul, he slaughters Jedi and becomes Darth Vader. He duels his former master and friend on Mustafar, and loses limbs and is horribly burned, after which he, to save his life, has extensive prosthetics and a suit to keep him alive so he can serve the Emperor. Years later, he would duel with his former master on the Death Star, and duel his son, who allowed him to return to the light and cast the Emperor down, ending his evil. He then has a moment with his son and dies. Alright, continuing down the line, we have Luke Skywalker. He was born 19 BBY on Polis Massa, alongside his twin sister Leia. Obi-Wan takes him to Tatooine to the Lars family, where he is raised. He became a rebellion hero and brought Anakin back to the light. With many trials, he rebuilt the Jedi with many trials, including falling to the dark side himself, but coming back, thanks to his friends. He marries Mara Jade and has a son, Ben Skywalker. And then we'll just continue Luke's line, and then we'll go back to Leia and go down her line. Or just make freaking noises. Ben Skywalker. He was born to Luke Skywalker and Mara Jade, 26 ABY, during the Yuuzhan Vong War. Due to the war, he was raised by Han and Leia, as his parents were fighting in the war. And then you skip some years to his descendant, Nat Skywalker, his descendant. He served as a Jedi Master during the Sith Imperial War. He married a Kifar woman, Drew, descended from Clan Voss. He adopted her daughter, Anna, a young boy, Skeeto, and a Cathar, Micah. He aided his nephew in building his ship, the Minok. And then we go over to the other side, and we have Nat's brother Cole. He was the head of the Jedi High Council. He met an Imperial agent, Morrigan Cord, and they fell in love and had Cade. But Morrigan left to continue her career, so Cole raised Cade, and then he eventually entrusted Cade to the care of his former Padawan, Wolf Sazin, and he took on another apprentice, Shadow Val, and he died in a Sith attack on Ossus. And then you have Cade Skywalker, a former Jedi, now turned bounty hunter, smuggler, and pirate. He had reluctant dealings in galactic affairs, which he dealt with the one Sith and the Fel Empire before dying the same year as his father. So that is the line of Luke. Now let us return to Leia's side of the family. Leia, who born 19 BBY on Polis Massa, like Luke, she was taken by Bail Organa and his wife to be on Alderaan, as they couldn't have children. So she was raised as a princess and a senator. She was in the rebellion from basically day one. She witnessed her home planet being destroyed by the Death Star, and then Luke and Han rescued her on the Death Star and escaped, and eventually led to the Death Star being destroyed. She marries Han Solo and gives birth to twins, Jaina and Jacen, during Thrawn's whole ordeal, and then after which, about a year and a half later, Anakin is born during the Clone Palpatine return thing, and she becomes Chief of State of the New Republic. She slowly learns her Jedi powers over the years, little bits and pieces, very slowly, and deals with loss and she deals with loss and a devastating war during the Yuuzhan Vong invasion. Then you have Jaina Solo, who, like Leia, she's a twin with Jacen, and they're born, 9 years after the Battle of Yavin, at around when Thrawn is, doing his whole thing. Jaina likes to tinker. She likes to tinker with machines and things like that. And she's trained as a Jedi from a pretty early age. They're always learning about the Force and how to use their powers. And yeah, she eventually marries Jag Fel, and that begins the Sol Fel family that is represented here in gray. I didn't go full line that all out because that's not like the main Skywalker line. Maybe I could do a Solo family line and then we could continue that. Jacen Solo, like his twin sister, was born during the Thrawn stuff, and he differs from his sister by he likes to befriend animals, so he has connections with animals. That's where his strength lies. Yeah. And, he trains from a young age like his siblings in the Jedi arts, although eventually he unfortunately falls to the dark side and becomes a Sith. Anakin Solo, who was born during the Clone Palpatine stuff, and, trains from a young age like his siblings, deals with the Yuuzhan Vong invasion very briefly, not for that long, and unfortunately Chewbacca dies to save him on a mission. That stays with him for a long time, and, Han blames Anakin for Chewie's death. That's no fun for a son to deal with, even though, and then eventually he dies. He dies. Yeah, very short life for a teenager. Alright, I think that's the family tree of the Skywalkers. Let's go back to the top. Let me know what you thought of this family tree in the description. Let me know what you thought of this family tree in the comments down below. And are there any other charts that you would like me to make? You're more than welcome to leave suggestions in the comments about what you would like to see. Maybe other family trees of certain families or characters or whatever. So, yeah. Alright, well, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and until next time, thanks for watching.